Alright, we're recording. Welcome back to Paths to Guitar Mastery. Today's lesson is going to be the first of a series on finger picking. So how to finger pick, the proper technique, and culminating in a song. So that's going to be the final installment. First, we just need to get a few things about the mechanics of finger picking. So let's dive right in. So I learned this from Scott Tennant, a master classical guitar player, plays with the LA Guitar Quartet. He talks about the right hand position being very neutral, just like if you're holding a briefcase, just like that. Just so you can imagine like you're holding like a handle, so your hand is like this, just like a fist. You don't want your fingers out long like that when you finger pick like that. That's not how you do it. You keep your all of the motions really small like that. It's like almost like you can barely see it. So just make like a briefcase holding shape with your hand, and then try this. I like to do this with students. Just open your hand and then close it. So your fingers are going into your palm. Like that. See, they're going into the palm. Okay? So one of the biggest mistakes with finger picking is to keep your fingers too long and then actually like get under the string and then actually pull your finger this direction. So instead of your finger coming up like that from this knuckle right here, you actually want it to go in the opposite way, into your palm like that. It's kind of hard to get used to at first, but you can practice that, it'll get easier. So just try going like that. Just try closing your palm away from the strings and then slowly bring it down to the strings. And then don't worry about which strings you're hitting. That's basically the posture and shape you want to use. Okay, next thing about finger picking, you want your fingers to more or less be like in a straight line. So if I hold this pen and I place this finger on it, this finger will be like next to it in a diagonal line, including the thumb. So the thumb should actually be out here to the from this perspective to the left of the finger. See that? So almost everybody starts off like this with their thumb in here or like over this finger. So we want to avoid that. Think of it like each finger will get its own lane of traffic, including the thumb. So you really want your thumb out here. And it's not a matter of like if you're holding your hand like this, it's not a matter of like pushing your hand and twisting your wrist out. It's really more a matter of curling these up and making more of like a fist with the fingers over here. And then your thumb will just naturally fall to the left of all of these. Or if you're a lefty, it'll fall to the right of it, okay? So that's just the posture. That's really important, so make sure you got all that right. Okay, next, the finger letters of the picking hand are like this. P is the thumb, I is the index, M is the middle finger, and A is the ring finger. And the pinky, we're not going to worry about that for now. That's really typical too in like classical guitar study. The pinky sort of just gets left out. Poor pinky. But not in like flamenco or other, like flamenco they use the pinky all the time. But anyway, so P-I-M-A, Pima. So you can put your A finger, your annular, that looks kind of suggestive, but that's my A finger, so I'm not trying to be offensive here. The A finger will go on the second string, okay? Your M finger, middle finger, will go on the third string. Your pointer finger, I, will go on the fourth string, and the thumb will go on the fifth string. For this exercise, that's not like always the case, but for this exercise I'm showing you today, that is the case. So I'm gonna hold our hand nice and neutral. Look at your wrist, make sure you're not bending it like this or like this. That's another really common thing to do. I caught myself, I used to do that a lot. So you want your wrist to just be like really neutral, really natural before, like I said, just like holding a briefcase, put your palm up, and then just open your fingers just a little bit until they hook on those strings that I just told you, okay? So next, the pattern that you're gonna learn right now goes like this. So you're gonna play the 2nd and 5th string at the same time. So that's the A finger and the P finger are gonna play like that. So your thumb is gonna pick downward, and your A finger, your ring finger, is gonna pick upward like that. Just sort of like you're pinching it like that. Okay, that's the first part. Then with your index finger over here on your right hand is gonna play the 4th string like that, and then your M finger, your middle finger, is gonna play the 3rd string like that. Okay, so far we have the outer 2 strings together. So I'm going to refer to the 2nd and the 5th strings as the outer strings, and the 3rd and the 4th strings as the inner strings. So these are the outer strings, these are the inner strings. Just for now, just for reference. Okay, so outer strings together, inner strings separately, starting with the 4th string, 3rd string. Okay, again, outer strings together, inner strings separate. Okay, one more time, outer strings together, inner strings separate. Okay, next part of the pattern, we're going to do the outer strings again, this time not together. So separate, starting with the 5th string, and then the 2nd string. And then the inner strings again, just like before, 4th string, 3rd string. See that sound I made? Kind of poppy sound? That's because I got under the string. We want to try to avoid that. So to do that, to avoid it, you really have to close in towards the palm like that. It's going to take some time to get used to, so don't worry if you can't do that right off the bat. So the whole pattern is like this: outer 2 together, inner 2 separate, outer 2 separate, inner 2 separate. Then it repeats: outer 2 together, inner 2 separate, outer 2 separate, inner 2 separate. So notice the ones together, that lasts for twice as long as all these other ones. So if I was counting, I might count like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Whoops. Okay, I'm trying to get you a better angle. Okay, ready? So outer 2 together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. See, notice I'm not holding my fingers on the strings. After I play them, they're just sort of hovering above the strings. They're ready to play. They're staying right there, ready to play. Also, my palm is like slightly just touching the 6th string here, but I'm not putting my wrist right here on the wood. Something I see a lot. Don't put your palm here on the wood. Keep it kind of floating. But if you want to like feel anchored to something, you can anchor to the strings. It's okay to touch any of the strings. Again, just don't touch here. Don't put your pinky here. You see a lot of people doing that. That's a bad habit. So yeah, don't brace right here. You're gonna strictly keep your fingers on the strings and avoiding touching the face of the guitar. I mean, you'll touch it up here a little bit, you know, that's because where your arm goes over. but you don't want to like have to like, you know, especially like this kind of thing. So, okay, that's that's the first installment of finger picking. Next, we're gonna be applying it to a chord, and then finally a song. So I hope that helped, and I'll see you next time.